guys, so can I just say that like my afternoon slump is probably the worst. I read somewhere that humans are supposed to, or used to, or are meant to, or something. I don't even remember where I read this, that humans used to whatever sleep in 4-hour increments twice a day. And I believe this is true because we all, I think, hit an afternoon slump. It feels so echoey in here, but like, why? So, I think that humans were meant to sleep in like during this time of day, which right now it is 4:40 p.m. So I normally don't film this late, so I'm feeling kind of tired. Anyway, not spawns, but I thought I would mention it because it's kind of health related. And it kind of ties into one of my tips in this video of ways that I'm like becoming healthier, which has to do with caffeine. And my friend had this at her house when I like dog sat for her, and I'm addicted to this stuff. It is so freaking good. If you like coffee or like tea or something, which that is everyone in the world, this Dandy blend is so good. I bought this on Amazon for $11, and it basically, if you do like 2 heaping teaspoons in a cup with hot water, it tastes like coffee. But it's dandelion root and like chicory root, and it's good for you. I don't even know how they do it, but it's amazing. And so I drink it in the afternoons because it makes me feel like I'm drinking coffee, and it like tricks my mind into thinking that maybe it's coffee. Anyway, with that out of the way, I'm gonna keep sipping on this throughout the video. The cup, by the way, is from Daiso. In case you were curious, I don't know if you were. I'm going to share with you some tips. I don't have a set number for this list. It's not like my top 10 tips or whatever. Basically just ways that I am becoming healthier, or trying to change my lifestyle to be a little bit healthier. Because I am 28 years old, and I feel like by now I should... It's easier. I should be like set in a routine, and I feel like my routine is not very healthy. Hence, I still eat a quesadilla every single day. So, for me, it's all about, I know this sounds so lame and like no one likes to hear this, but it's all about balance. I believe that you do not need to eat and exercise like the vloggers that you see. I cannot tell you how many times I feel so guilty and like horrible about myself when I watch these fitness bloggers, or even just regular vloggers. I'm not gonna name names, but the ones that'll be like, I'm going to a spin class today, and then later on they're like, I signed up for a yoga class today, and it's like 2 classes in one day, and they're in LA, and it's like the place to be to get fit, and it's a lot. And they eat really clean or really healthy, and that's just not realistic for the average human. It's just not. Granted, I'm not a dietitian, I am not a fitness instructor, I am no expert at all. This is all based on my own, like, what's good for me and my body, and these are all just my opinions and things that I am personally doing. It is not advice for everyone, but I thought I would share it in case it may inspire you to make some changes in your life to become a little bit healthier. So that's where I'm coming from. But I don't believe that we all need to eat and exercise like these YouTubers, I just don't think that's realistic. So the first thing that I am going to start implementing, which some of these tips actually came from a masterclass from the Calm app, again, not sponsored. I bought the Calm app membership myself. I love it. I use it every day. It's one of my favorite apps in the world, but they have master classes on there. There's one on rethinking depression and just health, the 4 pillars of health, and it's just really fascinating to me. So I took some tips from these people, these doctors and psychiatrists from these master classes, and implemented some things into my life. Not all of them are from there. So some of them are just things that I am doing on my own. The first one does come from a master class on the 4 pillars of health, but basically it is healthiest to eat your meals within a 10 to 12 hour window. This prevents us from eating too much or too spaced out, because our bodies are meant to be resting for 10 to 12 hours without eating, hence why we sleep. When we sleep, we're not eating. But also, not eating in the hours before bedtime is a lot healthier than eating right before bed or right before you sleep. So for example, I will eat from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. straight. No, I'm just kidding, I don't. But just getting all of your daily intake calories that you need within a 12-hour, or even smaller if you're into like intermittent fasting. That's, I think, where you don't eat for the first few hours of the day or something like that. I can't really do that. but you do you. If you eat all of your calories within a small, you know, like a 10 to 12 hour window, that's what he recommends, but you could make it smaller if it's more realistic for you and your lifestyle, and that's just healthier for your body to have off time where it's not digesting food. The second tip has to do with physical and mental health, and that is I go for a walk every single morning. I've been doing this for almost 2 weeks now, and I cannot tell you how, well, I can tell you how amazing it has been for me, mostly for my mental health and my sleeping. Getting a lot of bright light early on in the day is actually super, super good for you and your brain when it comes to resetting your clock and when you have to go to bed later on. And just in general, our ancestors were used to constant daylight. They were outdoors and exercising all day long, you know, hunting and gathering. So that's what the human body is meant for or built for, but obviously we don't need to do that anymore. So we do need to exercise and we need to be outside. We need to be outdoors. We are meant to be in the outdoors, in nature, or if you're not a nature person, just outside on the sidewalk in the sunshine. But I usually walk anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes depending on how I feel, what I'm listening to. I usually listen, oh God, my neighbor. This is when I usually listen to those master classes or podcasts or something inspiring, something that's like positive, uplifting, I don't know, just something, an audiobook would be great. But this is when I get in my me time, and usually my boyfriend isn't awake at this time because I go early on in the morning, pretty much right after I wake up, after I've had some coffee and water. Speaking of coffee. But now this is like, I know I've only been doing it for like 2 weeks, but it's literally become part of my routine where it feels weird if I don't go for a walk. Like I just crave it, I need it. And obviously it's not like intense fitness or anything like that. I'm not doing it to become super fit, but I do sweat. It does get hard sometimes for me because cardio is not my thing. And I do try to do more brisk walking, not necessarily power walking, but like more briskly walking on the trail. Anyway, I've found, just mostly for my mental health, this has completely changed the game and I just feel so great and it's amazing. After my walk, this is my third tip, I will meditate. And I know that gets annoying to hear, but it's not just about meditation. It can be called whatever you want it to be. It could be called sitting still doing nothing for all I care, but that's essentially what it is. I think it's really important in today's society when we're so wrapped up in technology, other people like strangers, driving, city life, or whatever, wherever you live. All of it can get so overwhelming that I think it's really important to sit for 10 to 15 minutes a day doing absolutely nothing. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to meditate per se if you're not into that and that's just not for you. I get it. Again, I use the Calm app to meditate. They have a lot of guided meditations. I still cannot meditate without a guided meditation, but just do nothing. Like literally just sit there and maybe play some like calming music, not like singing music where you want to sing along or get up and dance, obviously. Although that's healthy too, so if you feel like that, then do it. You know, just having that time to sit with yourself and not scrolling on social media, not doing work, not answering emails or, you know, interacting with people or humans. It's just important to have that time to just sit there and be still. And just, you can let your mind wander if you want, or you can practice meditation. You do whatever you feel like. But I like to do this immediately after my walk because I'm feeling the endorphins. If you do aerobic exercise or some kind of exercise for 20 minutes or more, endorphins are released in your brain. And those are like the feel-good hormones. So I like to sit with them after my walk and just feel really good. Just sit there and do nothing with it, but just feel it, you know, just sit there with my endorphins. And it's just such a nice way to wake up and start my day. Granted, I'm a morning person, so if you want to take your daily walk in the afternoon or evening or at dusk, you know, you do you, of course. But I highly recommend taking some walks because taking a walk is just so, I feel so refreshed after it. And that also plays into just being more active in general. I know you guys have heard it a million times to park far away and walk to the store, you know, park in the farthest parking spot and then walk. I don't understand how people can reach 10,000 steps a day. Like I go hiking and I'm not even at 10,000 and I don't know how that's humanly possible, and especially not for me in the summertime when it's 110 outside. I'm not getting in 10,000 steps, okay? So be reasonable with yourself, obviously. It's just about getting in a little bit of activity, a little bit of movement. It's just about moving your body a little bit more than you're used to and just becoming less sedentary. Also, it helps you sleep better at night, which sleep obviously is a huge factor in your health and your mental health. You need it. You cannot live without it. So get enough sleep, however many hours it is for you. But I find getting bright light in the mornings, whether it's you just open your windows or go for a morning walk, and also getting a little physical activity, both help me fall asleep faster at night. The next tip is I can't live without caffeine. Like, I tried this on the bag of this dandelion stuff, right? Because it's made out of dandelions. It says that you can, you know, switch to this without because this doesn't have caffeine in it, in case I didn't clarify that. It's just herbal. But it says no withdrawals when you switch from caffeine to this. And I was like, okay, we'll try that. I made it till about 10 p.m. and I was like, yeah, no. So I can't go without caffeine. I've been drinking coffee every single day for years and years. Like, I am addicted at this point, and one day it would be great to not be addicted. But for now, this is my tip. I have limited myself to one caffeinated drink a day because I sometimes can get anxiety, and caffeine just fuels that. I feel so anxious when I drink too much caffeine, and I hate it. I cannot, oh my gosh, it's like one of the worst feelings in the world. So basically, I just limit myself to 1 cup of coffee a day, 1 coffee at a coffee shop a day. That's pretty much it. I don't drink soda and stuff like that with caffeine in it. So, but also in conjunction with that is I stopped drinking caffeine at 12 p.m. noon, because caffeine can stay in your system. I forget the exact amount of hours, but it can stay in your system for up to 8 hours, or maybe up to 12. I don't remember, but it stays in your system for a long ass time, and that affects your sleep later on. So just stop drinking coffee by like 12. Well, that's my number. You can pick a different hour if you want to. But basically, I know that I can't live without caffeine. So I have created these rules for myself where I can still have it, where I don't get headaches, but it has to be before 12 and only 1. Kind of alongside that, kind of talking about coffee, is I am starting to look at like coffee shops and restaurants and eating out and takeout and things like that as a special occasion, and only doing that 1 to 3 times a month. It's not only is healthier, but it saves money, because when you get coffee at a coffee shop or even just Starbucks or wherever you get it. I prefer Phil's, but that's just me. But those coffees and like food that you get outside of the home can really, really add up on your bank account and on your body, right? Generally, coffees from coffee shops and food from, restaurants and things are really dense in calories, sugar, and fat. So obviously I am reasonable with myself. Like, I'm not the kind of person that says you can't ever have Taco Bell. Like, no. I love a good Taco Bell, but I just limit it to a couple times a month instead of like more frequently. The next thing that I have been doing for myself, and I actually started this in January for a resolution, of course, but I have been sticking to it. It's the first resolution that I've ever stuck to. That is setting a fitness goal and working every single day towards it. Obviously, we don't work out every day. I don't work out every day. Anyway, if you have a fitness goal that you can work on every day, that would be ideal, because that's how you're gonna really, really grow and reach that fitness goal really fast. But you can do 4 to 5 times a week if that suits you, or even once a week. Like, just do you. Having a goal and working towards it, whether it's once a week or every day, is better than not having anything and not doing anything. Just bear that in mind and be gentle with yourself and be kind about, the things that you want to achieve, and whether or not you live mostly sedentary or active. So for example, I set a goal this year that I wanted to reach 20 push-ups. And I don't mean just 20 push-ups in a sitting, but 20 push-ups straight, like straight through. And given that it's the 7th month of the year, I am up to 15 push-ups straight. And I mean like normal push-ups, legs out. It's just something that I personally wanted to achieve for no reason other than I wanted to be that strong. I wanted to grow my upper body strength, because back when I was really into fitness and working out every single day, that was a nightmare. I was really focusing on my abs and legs because the thigh gap was really popular at the time. And obviously abs are abs, always a priority for most people. But I was really focusing on those things, and I hated growing my upper body because I've always had this like defined shoulder muscle. Like, I was born with it. I'm not lying. Like, elementary school, I had like toning right here. Anyway, I used to hate my arms, and I decided to face that and like embrace the strength in my arms and work on it even more and like build my arms. So that's just an example of a personal goal that I had set for myself, and I do work towards that probably 5 to 6 times a week. It's not really every day. So the next tip is just finding healthier substitutes to things that you already love and don't want to cut out. I don't think we should live without pasta. Like, it's delicious. So I have actually found a high protein pasta that I really, really love. I think it's by the brand Barilla. I don't know. It's an orange box at Walmart. It has 17 grams of protein per serving in a pasta. Also, I prefer vegan mayo to regular mayo, so I I choose vegan mayo most times. But I think using vegan substitutes when you can is also another really good way to not only help yourself but help the environment. Obviously I'm not going to be preachy because I'm not a vegan, but I do try to eat vegan when I can and eat and like substitute vegan things if I can. Does that make sense? But just whenever I can, substituting some vegan options, or if I can eat a sandwich, like I have a lot of toppings on a sandwich and I can go without putting cheese on it, I'm gonna do that. I'll just fill it full of veggies and fake meat and mayo and great things. So it's just like small little changes like that in your diet can really make a huge difference. And then the two things that I've actually been doing like my whole, well, not my whole life. One I've been doing my whole life, and then the second one is one that I've been doing for this whole year so far. Obviously the first one, I don't sacrifice sleep. I've talked about it in the past. I have never, I mean I have sacrificed sleep, but on a regular basis I do not sacrifice sleep for anything. Nothing is that important. I'm sorry. A couple times a year, sure, you want to stay up past midnight, go for it. But generally don't sacrifice your sleep on a regular basis for, I'm gonna say it, dumb things. Maybe not dumb things, but you know, just sleep is always gonna be more important because without it you die. So I don't know what's more important than that. And then the last thing is I supplement, which that is definitely more controversial for me to say in a video full of like how I'm being healthier, because if you guys take any of my advice, supplementing is something that's so personal. You know, that's something I had blood work done to see what I was, you know, missing, and then taking those appropriate supplements all from my doctor. Like my doctor told me which ones to take, so I've been taking those. I will say that all vegans and vegetarians, okay, again, I'm not an expert and I'm probably gonna get hate for saying this, but if you are vegan or vegetarian, you need to supplement for vitamin Bs. Take a B complex, because you're not, I can guarantee you're probably not getting enough B vitamins in your diet, so you need to supplement them. I hate recommending and saying that you need to do something, but I truly believe that you will feel so much better if you do. So there you have it. I don't know how many tips that was, but those are my things that I'm doing to get healthier. Obviously, take my advice with a grain of salt. This isn't even advice, really. It's just ways that I am trying to get healthier. Just little things that I can change in my life to be a better person, mentally and physically. Be a little bit more active, because I definitely struggle with that. Working from home, I barely leave my house as it is, let alone like exercise and like leave the house for walking and things like that. So it's really easy for me to fall into that sedentary lifestyle of constantly sitting at my desk editing, and then on my break time or when I'm not editing, watching TV. So I find just taking walks and things really helps me get moving a little bit more. If you have any advice, I mean, granted, I'm sure unless you are an expert, please leave some advice down below. But whatever you do that you feel like has really helped you become healthier as a person, please leave that in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.